Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent, and this is Flat Earth Q&A emails number 36, I believe, where you send me your emails, and if I can't read them on Strange World, I will try to get to them here in a separate broadcast. Let's get right to it. First one goes something like this. Dear Mr. Sargent, I've been following your work for around 2 years now and have been intrigued by the whole enclosed world concept. My journey began after I began listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and he turned me on to flotation tanks, also known as sensory deprivation chambers. He talks about it a lot in his podcast, so I gave it a try. After floating, I had a sense this life isn't what it seems, and I felt like my eyes were open. At first, I dove into the simulation theory. Where did we go here? So I took great interest in the double slit experiment and watched a Jesse Spots video where he explained changes in geography. Like, I swear New Zealand used to be north of Australia and China was much bigger than it is now. Jesse explained how we are living on a flat earth. In fact, he said there were two of them and his model still had some curve to it. Later on at work, I saw a video of a man who looked at the New York skyline from 60 miles away and was asking, where's the curvature? And unlike most people, I accepted it right away. It was like I was awakened from a dream. It was so obvious, but I never realized it. There is no curve at all. I grabbed a calculator and figured out using the Earth's circumference of 27,000 miles and calculated an 8-inch per drop per mile. I looked out the window at Mount Hood across Columbia and figured it was about 30 miles away. I didn't realize every mile needed to be squared on a curve, so I didn't think there would be a noticeable curve, but I did notice the horizon was completely flat. I was flabbergasted. Could this be true? Has it always been so obvious? Soon enough, I found your work, and the way you tied it all together with Antarctica was brilliant. I was so excited I had to tell someone, so I told my brother, who is normally very open-minded. He didn't get upset or anything, but he said he saw the curvature in a plane and wondered how else we could see the shadow of the Earth on the moon. Now I realize even the heliocentric model doesn't believe that. But that is the angle of the sun hitting the moon which caused the phases. A few months later, I emailed my father your Flat Earth clues in hopes to get him on board, but he only scoffed at it. He is a young Earth creationist, so I thought it would be right up his alley, but he thought it was so ridiculous to even discuss. My sister overheard our conversation and got upset. It's crazy how upset people get. It reminds me of someone who is brainwashed. And my wife only rolls her eyes at me when I discuss it too. My mother said she just figures the scientists who figured all this out are way smarter than us, so she trusts them. But I asked her if she then would believe in evolution and the Big Bang Theory too, because the scientists all believe in that, and she does not. So she is picking and choosing what scientific theories to believe and what not to believe. Now, I keep my beliefs to myself. Some of the most compelling evidence that NASA is lying is the video of the first spacewalk. The Russian and the United States footage looks so fake. It looks like stop action, like Rudolph. And his whole head pivots when he turns. It is insane that people aren't re-looking at some of these because they are even cheesier than the Apollo footage. Also, the Challenger mission footage of the man hiding behind the model. The only doubt I have, it is hard to believe that such a huge secret like the shape of the Earth can be hidden. The amount of people that would have to be on it would be astronomical. No play on words there. All the astronauts, airline pilots and sea captains. The distance between Australia and South America would be so much less on a globe, it would seem obvious. I've always been a big Eddie Bravo fan. I have read all of his books and watched his webisodes, mastering the system religiously. Before he came out as a flat earther, he talked about the documentary The Principle on the Joe Rogan Experience. I had a feeling he was coming out about it, and sure enough, a few months later, he was talking about flat earth. It was unfortunate he befriended Eric Dubay instead of you, but at least he was talking about it. Thank you so much for all your hard work. I always look forward to your interviews. Even if we are wrong and the globe is right, I am glad I opened my mind to the idea and learned a lot about human nature and indoctrination. Part of me wonders if we do live in a simulation. I was talking to a friend about how would we be on a flat earth. We were living in a simulation. He said if they could make our world a simulation, they would have the technology to make us live on a curve too. Isn't it insane that people will believe we live in a simulation, but it still has to be a ball? That just shows how brainwashed most people are. Or maybe I am the crazy one. I actually have been to Whidbey Island once about 20 years ago. My girlfriend at the time grew up there. So I went there to meet her mom. Her name was, please don't read on air. I won't read it. She was probably 2 or 3 years younger than you. Take care. I just thought I would share my awakening journey and how amazing it is that my hero Eddie became a flat earther too. I'm also a big fan of Cron Gracie. Keep up the great work. Shout out to Cron and Eddie. Sincerely, Mr. Troy from Camas, Washington. Awesome. That's really great. All right. Next email is called Question about the Horizon. Hey, Mark, I've been listening to you for a few months now and have been into the whole flat earth scene for almost a year. Quick question about horizon rising to eye level at any altitude. There are some new videos that have popped up on YouTube that are showing pictures and videos from planes showing the horizon does drop slightly. Now, let's say there is some point, an edge or end to our plane that we live on. Wouldn't there be a slight drop in the horizon anyway once you reach a certain height? Just wanted to get your opinion on this. Thanks and God bless. All the way from Halifax, Nova Scotia, from Flat Earther Graham. And no, Graham, no. Find me that video that shows the curvature dropping away. It always rises to eye level. Always, always, always. Find me a video where it's not. If the camera is mounted perfectly, where it doesn't move, it can't move around, then the horizon's not going to drop. Look, we've seen weather balloon footage going up to 120, 130,000 feet. Does not drop. Stays right in the middle of the screen. This one's called Flat Earth Clues in Costa Rica. Hey Mark, hello from Costa Rica. I finally got a copy of your clues, picture attached, regardless of the fact that I had been a flat earther for about 2 years. Reading your book was being a joy. Not English, not his first language, I'm guessing. The important thing is that the word is spreading across the plane and in different languages and cultures. The sad part is that in order to keep momentum, I'll have to give away the book. So let's pray that the person who gets it really wants it. Cheers and keep it up. Jerry from Costa Rica. Awesome, Jerry. Thank you very much. This one's called NASA's 4K live feed yesterday. Hey Mark, while watching the bogus footage of yesterday's first live 4K interview with the ISS astronauts at about the 22-minute mark when they finally contacted them, I noticed they looked to be upside down. It made me wonder if that's how they make the women's hair always look wild. The astronauts' faces, their skin looked pulled up as if there was gravity on the ceiling. I really think they're hanging them upside down. What do you think? Thanks for waking me up. Keep up the good fight. Dana Santos. A little both. With the women's hair, you got a permit. You've got to put a whole bunch of product in it. You got to make it stand straight up. Because what happens is if you turn people upside down, and I still think they do both. I still do think they turn people upside down from time to time. But even when they're upside down, a woman's hair is going to move back and forth. It's going to be very, very pliable, and even the slightest breeze, it's going to move around. Their hair, that's the big key here. Look up ISS hairspray. Their hair is stiff. Any woman should know this. When the problem we've got is 75% of the conspiracy world are men. So there's not as many women looking at it, because women look at this like, oh yeah, she totally has hairspray. Have women look at this. It's always the same thing. The only time women do their hair like that is for Halloween, when they put it up. Again, Bride of Frankenstein. Look up that picture. This one's called Ball Earth Photos. Mark, I have heard you say on a couple of interviews or debates that there have only been 2 actual photos of Earth, one in 1972 and one in 2015. Could you explain what you mean by this and the circumstances of these photos? Thanks, Mark. Keep up the good work. Bill Nolte from Billings, Montana. I think I've gotten an email from him before. Okay, look up. What I mean is the blue marble shot. You guys can look this up. Blue marble from space. The first one was taken in 1972. It showed and we all know this one, I remember it vividly, back in 2000. In fact, it was the only blue marble shot back in 2002 when they did the iPhone photo, or the iPhone composite, because that was the only one they had. It shows the bottom part of Africa and all of Antarctica, if you believe that. And it was literally the only blue marble shot taken until the summer of 2015, coming up on about 2 years ago. And we know this because the White House did a press conference on it. He talked about it. It was an article tweeted, and Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about it. NASA talked about it. In fact, the article was written, strangely enough, by Scott Kelly, who supposedly was on the ISS when he wrote it. I would think that that an astronaut wouldn't be doing White House briefings, White House press announcements, but in this case, they did. So look it up. It's you can look. It's on the NASA.gov website. It's on the WhiteHouse.gov website. In fact, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's still in my descriptions anymore. If it isn't, I'll try to update it to where people will see it. Look, it's at the WhiteHouse.gov. Look up second blue marble shot or blue marble NASA 2015. You'll see it. Can't miss it. Next one is called NASA Busted Big Time. Hi, Mark. I caught some case closed evidence in some old footage of a space shuttle, a model of the space shuttle suspended on monofilament wire. Totally sloppy and hilarious. Nice work, nassholes. Nice. Anyway, it's short and sweet, so check it out if you need a good laugh. Ever flatword, Tim. And he sent me the link to that, and you know what? I did not look at that link, so I'm going to put that in my to look at pile. This one's called ISS Lens Distortion Screenshots. G'day, Mark. I've made some screenshots of the ISS spaceflight with proofs of lens distortions on their cameras. This is done in response to the globe people that use NASA space imagery to defend their sphere theory. Example of a blasphemer. There's a proofs. In fact, there's a proofs on Wiki, commons.wiki.org called Lens Distortion Is Earth Really a Sphere? Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. This one's called Flat Earth Ties to a Biblical Narrative. Hello, Mark. My name is Wyatt. I've been interested in the Flat Earth theory for a while now, looking at research, questioning what I've been told, looking at holes in the globe theory, and forming my own opinion based on evidence made by keeping my mind open to the possibility. After a couple years of looking at this stuff, I've always been driven to the flat Earth more than a globe, but am now certain that I know my answer. Since I started working, I'm 19 and just started my first full-time job starting August, I've been listening to almost 8 hours of podcasts a day. Ooh, that's rough. Listening to about 6,000 hours of information during that time. I recently found a podcast, Mysterious Radio, and got excited to see a Flat Earth dedicated podcast. Of course, I listened and found all that information to be very interesting. At the current moment, I am looking at the notes I took during my listen to that podcast and during doing some research on it, basic fact checking. But the reason I'm emailing you is because I'm a Christian. I believe the Bible is 100% truth and Holy Spirit inspired, and I say that because I think there is a reason he isn't vague in that book. He mentions in the Bible there is the sun, moon, earth, and stars. There is no mention of planets. And when you take a look at 1 Chronicles 16:30, Revelation 6:13 through 16, and Job 38:4, just a few to keep it short, we can see that the Bible is actually a very flat earth book. I digress. My point in this email is to tell you what happened to me while I was listening to your podcast. At one point, you were explaining to one of the ladies the way the world really looks, saying it was similar to a planetarium. All of a sudden, once you said that, these words popped into my mind. It's because they'll escape my judgment. For a brief moment, I had no idea what it meant. Then, after a short thought, I knew exactly what God meant. If we could actually leave this atmosphere, this planet, people would escape God's judgment on this earth. I don't mean death, I mean judgment on earth, Acts 17:31. Why is this important? Because if there was a way to leave judgment, God would be a liar, which means his word is invalid. I know you don't know me, and likewise you as well, but I assure you I am no troll. I believe this stuff. I just thought, whether Christian or not, you might find these words interesting. Thank you for your time, Wyatt. Oh, that is interesting, Wyatt. Interesting. Hadn't really thought about it like that. This one's called Loyalty Day Delta Effect. Is May 1st being proclaimed Loyalty Day by Trump the biggest Mandela/Delta effect like ever? It's been proclaimed Loyalty Day by every POTUS since 1955. Not in my universe. Whose universe have I woken up in? The U.S. is suddenly actually North Korea and communist China? Are North Korea going to liberate you lot from your dictators and help you install democracy? I think reality's operating system has got all screwy from a glitched reboot. How do we repair the boot files? What's next? Trump's going to declare himself a globalist? I'm watching it happen from the UK, where the Prime Minister who has become Prime Minister entirely by accident without being chosen has declared an election she promised she wouldn't and has so far refused to do any campaigning or debates. Everything is bizarre. I agree, Tim. 2017 is a really, really weird year so far, and we're not even halfway through. This one's called Debunked T-Shirt. And the t-shirt says, I should have it up on my screen, and I don't. Hey, Mark, long time down the rabbit hole, now my old friend. Been with you since about March of 2015. Started my eBay FEOHC shortly after. We've emailed about 3 or 4 times, although that was before you were famous author and YouTube star, winky face. Even though I watch Flat Earth videos every day, seen this thing grow right from the beginning, which has been fun. Seen the drama, the certain groups that have gravitated together. Can I still use that word? LOL. In fact, I've been a flat earther longer than the majority of the top flat earthers today. You speak and debate the flat earth better than anyone in my opinion, and believe that if there were to be a flat earth spokesperson, it must be you. Anywho's, here's a pic of the shirt if you'd like to use it in your slideshow or any other way. Take care, buddy. James, Flat Earth QR code on YouTube. QR code on YouTube? UK. And that means I gotta put this in my, hopefully I used this slide already, but if not, I'm gonna make sure I take a look at it one more time. This one's called Wow. Mark, first I hope the mail gets to you. A man thinking about some upper level type stuff is very busy. I guess I'm emailing you to say thank you and keep helping people get their head out of their ass, because even though I'm still trying to wrap to my head around it and unlearn 30 plus years of BS, it's making me ask questions and get my head out of my ass. If there is anything you could tell me that could really push me over the edge, I'd love to hear, whether it be another clue. There's no period in here. It'd be another clue like your YouTube video or signs today that are relevant. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again. Keep on uploading knowledge. David Rodriguez. Guys, if you're going to type me a letter, take breaths every once in a while and put periods in. I'm not saying the punctuation has to be perfect, but if you don't put any periods in, that's how I'm going to read it. That's how I'm programmed to read it. This one's called Talk Show. You were on, dated April 29th. Mark, those 3 people said it best, all that they were taught. If they said it once, they said it umpteen times. The most educated just can't let it go. You, my friend, are a trooper. They be idiots. Yep. Some of my interviews are not kind. That's for sure. This one's called Flat Earth. Mark, I watched your extensive research and it really inspired me to debunk the globe model. I guess the Flat Earth model also has its limitations, but the fact that no one can prove the globe model is enough. I think that maybe a weather balloon from Antarctica can prove the flat or globe Earth. That's from Vivek. Yeah, if we could actually get to Antarctica to send up a weather balloon, but chances are they're not gonna just let you walk in there and do that. Just saying. This one's called Hey Mark. Literally, that's the title of the email. Hey Mark. A little repetitive. My name's Matt Moore, but you might know me as Mr. Matty Moses on the YouTube comment section. I just wanted to email you to tell you I love what you've been doing for Flat Earth. I've been listening to more and more of your stuff, and you always keep a level head, and that's very inspirational to me, especially as I go forward with Flat Earth and talking about it to my friends and family. Hearing you on that DH radio show made me write this email. Those guys were giving you all sorts of grief. Geez, but you kept your cool and picked your spots. I love when you would kind of take that skeptical deep breath or go, well, and then ask them questions in turn. Great stuff. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I will say that it took me too long to finally check your stuff out. Now that I have, I've never felt better. Please keep doing what you're doing. Matt Moore, aka Mr. Matty Moses. P.S. I'm from Wisconsin, and brat fries, F-R-Y-S, are a big thing by me. Maybe I'll have a flat earth brat fry by me to get the word out there. LOL. PPS, I should look into getting It's Flat for my license plate if my wife will let me. It's good. And yeah, don't go against the wife. You know, it's tough enough getting married, although I've never been married. This one's called New Plate Arrived, and I can't remember which one. This is where my journey began for me. I thought I was alone, but YouTube led me to new friends. Thank you, Mark, Patricia, and everyone out there trying to wake up the zombification we have been under. Wait a minute, is that a word? CC is my channel and tried to do the laser test. I know yawn, but is one of the only accurate, inexpensive tests I know, but it was too windy yesterday. However, my daughter was having so much fun bouncing with the waves on her boat. Next time it'll be a solo mission. Thanks again, Mark, for all your time. Almost forgot. Did you see the Cassini pics. What a joke. Look at the pic of Saturn. Not only to mention the last live feed from ISS, an echo of their transmission. What, no 10-second delay from the space? Don't get me started. That's from Christopher. Thanks, Christopher. And I don't remember. I think his plate was the Florida plate. And I haven't used that as a thumbnail, but I'm going to try. I'll put that in the revisit pile. This one's called Antarctica and Admiral Byrd YouTube video. Mark, my name is Pablo, and I just saw a video on the YouTube showing an astonishing subject, the real shape of the Earth, Antarctica as a 360-degree huge iced wall, and of course government intention to hide all of this. I can confess all of this is quite incredible, especially after 40 years, and conclude all my school background was made on a deception basis. All this has caught me in a situation where I describe astonished. Again, not his native language, English be it. I would like to know more about it, but I confess I really don't know how to start it. Could you help me on this? Did really Antarctica, a country where the Queen's Maud land, have really existed? How to know what is really true and false about Antarctica? As I said, I spent 40 years. I need to start from zero right now. Regards, Pablo. And yeah, I sent him the Flat Earth shortlist for new people, which is a playlist I made of all sorts of fun things. And I'm trying to update it on a monthly basis, but that's something I would recommend to anybody just getting into Flat Earth. This one's called Flat Earth Experiments. Dear Mark, hello, my name is Hendrik Mills, age 62, and I live with my wife in Idaho. In the past year, I have discovered the growing Flat Earth movement and have bought your book, Flat Earth Clues, as well as other similar books, and have watched many Flat Earth videos. Some of my friends and I want to do some experiments involving a laser in the medium-sized lakes in northern Idaho. I emailed a company called wickedlasers.com, and they informed me that the kind of laser I want is illegal to ship to USA addresses. Do you have such a laser you'd be willing to sell to me? Or do you know of anyone who would sell, rent, or loan such a laser? We need a laser capable of projecting a visible spot of light at least 6 miles away, preferably further. Our plan is to do the obvious. Set up a laser measured distance above the lakeshore and shine it at a boat moving slowly away, perhaps aimed at the sheet on a sheet serving as a screen, and measure the apparent rise of the laser beam on the sheet. We would then compare our findings with the predicted curvature of the Earth. On Coeur d'Alene Lake, I've been there actually, there is a 7-mile straight shot available from a convenient beach. On Pend Oriole Lake, there is about a 12-mile straight shot available. We are eager to do some first-hand experiments ourselves, as anyone can simulate both globe-confirming and plane-confirming data in a video, partly to know for ourselves and partly to be able to argue convincingly to others about the truth of the shape of our world. We want to experience this for ourselves. The we I'm referring to consists of 3 men, a confirmed flat earther, a flat earth skeptic, and someone who's not sure. Me. Also, do you have any succinct thoughts on the concept of atmospheric refraction, allowing a view of far-off objects which aren't really there? Any advice or help you can offer on this score would be appreciated. Yours truly, Hendrik Mills from Idaho. And I will email Hendrik back and probably link him to some videos that have already done the boat laser test. I mean, it's not bad that he does it in Idaho. As far as getting a super powered laser, you can usually just buy them off of Amazon. They're out there. I mean, of course, there's going to be some shipping restrictions, but there's ways to bypass that. You just, well, you know what? I'll tell him in the email. This one's called South Africa Flat Earth. Mark, I am totally a flat earther, but alone in my convictions. As proof for me would be if a Russian ship could sail south towards Antarctica and a ship from South Africa sail south and reach Antarctica. They should be on opposite sides of the flat earth. Could this be done? Do you have any Navy subscribers that have sailed the sea at the South Pole? What does the South Pole look like for the Russian viewers and for the South African viewers and GPS? Love your progress in the flat earth view, Heinrich. And that's an interesting test. But again, the problem is that you're still relying on GPS, and not to steal a line from the Matrix, but the GPS works for the system. So yeah, you could have one boat taking off from Australia and one from South Africa, but the GPS is going to tell you what it wants you to see. So I don't know if that would be a conclusive test. It's a nice idea though. I like thinking outside the box. I like that. Oh, let's see what we got here. This is called Flat Earth and Theology. Hi, Mark. I've been turning this theme around in my mind for some time now. Would like to share a few thoughts with you if I may, and I don't mean to be long-winded. This is the most economic way that I can put the issues and the questions. Some say that the Flat Earth erases atheism, but I don't necessarily agree because, at most, Flat Earth can only imply the current, or at least the past, existence of some kind of creator, designer, engineer, or some such first cause of the world. Because of our roots in the Abrahamic tradition, we are programmed to believe that God, in order to exist and to even be God, must be a creator. However, this premise is at best incomplete, because there are many God definitions that either do not depend on the notion of God being a creator or even reject the idea altogether, such as Christian, Buddhism's, the way out of time. Sorry, I'm not going to read all those titles. The divine absolute or ultimate reality can be, but does not need to be, a creator. To insist that it has to be is like saying that the moon must be made of green cheese or it doesn't exist. My personal belief is simply that God is real, but that God is not a creator, is not the designer of the earth, whether it be a globe or a more or less flat plane, but is rather a transcendent, transcosmic presence, which does not engage in world creation and maintenance for the simple reason that the material realm or of real or illusory planets, comets, nebulae, etc., does not fall within his job description. It's not God's job description. That's a t-shirt right there. He is far more being and beingness than he is activity, or at least activity pertaining to the mindless cycles of force that we call matter. I would say that his only special area of activity is within the soul. However, considering the idea of the non-divine creator, flat earth and closed earth could easily accommodate the idea of an alien or interdimensional hacker or simulator whose function is to create worlds according to whatever programs that he, she, or it pleases to invent and operate. This kind of creator, at least to me, would perfectly fit into your flat earth designer model, with the heavens as the creator's supertech planetarium and the flat earth as his terrarium. To me, this setup much more configures to the notion of an external, isolated, and perhaps even all too humanly jealous trolls, really. This one's called Curvature. And it says, Mark, I live 60 miles from Red Lodge ski area here in Montana, where I can see Grizzly Peak from top to bottom. The summit is 9,400 feet, and my elevation is 3,100 feet, so the difference is 6,200 feet. If you subtract 2,400 feet, 60 miles of curvature, then I should only be able to see less than half of this mountain, right? I have never been good at math and science, so this observation is not very precise, but may be a good ballpark calculation. So why can't smart people see this obvious proof of a flat earth? I am trying to use local observations so that people I talk to can relate to and see for themselves. Thanks for all the great work that you do. I learn new stuff on every show. You can read this to encourage others to do research where they live. Thanks, Bill from Billings, Montana. Awesome. That's great. This one's called Flat Earth Newbie with a question. Dude, not Mark, but dude, I have recently been awakened to your many podcasts and YouTubes, funny, explaining the flat earth, but after listening to hours of interviews and testimony, I need to know one thing, ... Why are YouTubers like Secure Team showing us moon anomalies and Mars anomalies and many other celestial weird things and not acknowledging that these various monoliths and artificial satellites and many other space wackiness could be some sort of hologram or projection? There's so many people out there showing us evidence of life out there. Is it all a manufactured algorithm? Thanks for your time, man. Eric Montoya. Yeah, Eric, it's all fake. Any story that you read on space, it doesn't matter how good it is or even if you believe it. It's face on Mars. Here's a new thing in Pluto. Oh, look at the top of Saturn, so on and so on. It's the subtext that's always the same. You're looking at Mars because you're on a globe. You're thinking about Saturn because you're on a globe. Oh, look, Pluto's not a planet anymore, but you're on a globe. That's the subtext. That's all they care about in the end. It's just globe reinforcement. That's all they're doing because that's the point. Keeping you believing in the globe means you're not going to look for the edge. You're not going to wake up. You're not going to want to get out of here. You're not going to recognize that you're special in the universe. That's what they want. This one's called Gravity and Interstellar. Hello, Mark. This is Lincoln from Salt Lake City. Awesome. And this is my third email, but this one will be a short one. I've always heard you talk about the women astronauts on the ISS and all that hairspray on them. Absolutely comical. So I looked at Gravity and Interstellar and noticed that Sandra Bullock's hair and Anne Hathaway's hair were both cut real short. Those two directors did their homework because they didn't want their work to be laughed at. And that's it. Keep up the good work and stay flat. Peace out. And that's Lincoln. I don't know if that's his real name because I'm looking at his email address, and I don't think that's his real name. I think he just likes Lincoln. And he's right. The good Hollywood directors wouldn't be caught dead using those techniques. This one's called Hi. Mark, hello. My name is Karen. One amongst hundreds, I am sure. I don't know. I don't get 100 emails from Karens. In a research group where we have uncovered some very interesting data, it'll make your toes curl. I thought when finding more of the truth, considering it brings peace, more would feel empathy, grow and want change and listen, but most are greedy and live from their egos though. It's hard to know who to trust, what to say, and to whom. We are on a private invite only. Trolls are not permitted. We are trying to build community and talk on Hangouts with our group as the only way to bring us together and through trust. We are real people. My group is researching. We are partly gathering compass readings from as many places as we can. Having said that, I wondered if you would like to join us on a Hangout. We could show you a little. Karen. And I'm pretty sure I sent Karen an email and said, yeah, you know me. I don't necessarily turn down Hangouts. I can't do all of them, obviously, because there's just too many to do. But I will do them. This one's called Flat Earth. Mark, I'm a junior in high school, and I'm very interested in the flat earth. I've been doing some research, but there are a few things I just don't quite get, such as eclipses and the idea that you can travel completely around the globe. Just some things I'm curious about. I'm so glad that this was brought up to me, and my eyes have been opened to a lot, so it wasn't very hard for me to understand, especially when the facts are set out in front of you. Well, thanks for your time and effort. Keep moving forward. Sincerely, Cameron Heyman. And hopefully, because this email was sent quite a while ago, hopefully he's gotten into a lot more stuff by then. But I'll probably email him back and have him take a look at the short list. This one's called Flat Earth Question. Hi, Mark. I'm a huge fan of yours. I have a question for you that's really bugging me. The maximum height reached of the nukes in Operation Fishbowl was about 680 miles. So if they hit the dome, how come the Flat Earth model, the sun and the moon, are about 3,000 miles away? Don't know. And I'm not saying that the nukes, the 680 mile nuke shots, were the highest that you could go. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm saying that they were just the highest reported. So as far as 3,000 miles, I don't know. We're talking about conflicting government information here. So what they're reporting as the high altitude atomic testing and how high we think it is before you get to the sun and the moon, I don't know. Can you even get to the sun and the moon? Is there a barrier before you get to the sun and the moon? I don't know. You can only take the reported government data with a grain of salt. So this one's called Thermal Optics and the Moon. Hello, Mark. I recently acquired an Armasight thermal weapons scope. Awesome. I don't even have one of those. While out one night predator hunting, I decided to take a look at the sky. The only thing that really showed up in the sight was an occasional bat and the clouds. On a whim, I spun in the opposite direction from where I was set up and focused in on the moon. The moon, in fact, did show up in the sight. Thermal scopes only pick up temperature, not light. I really don't know what to make of this besides thinking of it as interesting. This is a good scope, but I doubt it is good enough to pick up a heat signature from 238,000 miles away. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Yeah, I don't think I'd point anything really at the moon because you're going to get weird results anyway. But the moonlight tests, I definitely check those out. Check out how many different people. Rob Skiba did a great one. Zetesism.com did a great one. Insanity did a great one. Where for moon only? Because when the moon's orbit becomes a tighter radius, wouldn't some of the people on Earth see the backside? Unless we are looking at a holographic projection? Yes, good point. Excellent point. One other thought. I tend not to believe in any religion or man-made deity. It seems to me that all religions were created to divide and separate us from the truth, which is that we are all connected to source or consciousness through our heart, or earth, which is an anagram for heart. So when I hear flat earthers talking about Jesus and Yahweh, those stories have been passed down and modified to continue the elite's holographic control of this world. I'm sure you don't have much time to respond to everyone, but if you get a chance, I would love to hear your thoughts. Sorry for the long email. I've never done this before. Max. Yeah, I don't want to dig into the religious aspect of it too much because, it's still part of a belief system. But interesting stuff all the way around, including the pictures from your sister-in-law. I'm sorry, her sister-in-law, which, again, you're going to compartmentalize everything. So, and we all know the NASA images are composites. We all know that. And so when they say, oh yeah, the real pictures are secret, the real pictures are classified, it's like, why would they be classified? You're not going to release any real pictures? Because, not buying it. But interesting stuff. This one's called Flat Earth Euro Style Stickers, Zetetica brand. Mark, longtime listener, I got an FE Euro Style car stickers up for sale on eBay. I'd love your feedback. Michael from Las Vegas. And yeah, you can go to eBay and type in Flat Earth Euro Style Stickers, Zetetica brand. That's Zetetica brand. In fact, I may steal that picture for my slideshow. I'm going to grab that. That's awesome. This one's called Questions Needing Answered. I don't know if that's good or English, then not better. Dear Mark, density versus gravity makes sense to me and explains a lot as to why certain things are able to float. But then you have that we could be going 120 miles an hour on a plane and yet feel like we're still not moving. Makes me feel there could be some validity to Einstein's theory. Now I feel like I'm rambling into my speech to text. Really, you're doing speech to text for this? So I'll just tell you what's really bothering me. How could all these people carry out this lie and no one would let it slip? Wouldn't they want their families to know the truth, and wouldn't someone in their family tell the truth? I mean, this is quite a huge lie. I looked up rivers that are able... I'll answer that question as soon as I'm done with this section here. I looked up rivers that are able to move east and west, south to north, and they said that's because there's still a high point, and the rivers are moving from a higher point to a lower point. I do find it odd that you can record the night sky and you'll see evidence of it moving, but if you record the earth, you don't. That is very odd, right? Has anyone recorded a section of land and found evidence of movement like we do the sky? And how is this possible to have a windless day? I think there are a lot of good reasons to ask questions, but it always comes down to the least scientific fact for me. There's no way it's a lie. No way multiple people, or hundreds in multiple countries, haven't let it slip. There's just no way. And if that's the case, then it's real, but then too many aspects don't make sense. I used a voice to text on this email, and I didn't proofread, but if I missed anything, I apologize sincerely, Sarah. Yes, Sarah, it's an old question, but I don't mind answering it again, and that is, yeah, let's say you do have somebody that's working as a telemetry. First of all, there's not going to be that many people that are going to know. It's not all pilots and all scientists. All you need is the telemetry guys at NASA. Very, very few people to need to know this. You can compartmentalize down to almost nothing. But when you do that, let's say the wife of somebody who is doing the telemetry data at NASA, let's say she found out. Who exactly is she going to tell? Seriously, who's she gonna know? I don't care if she knows somebody at the local news station. I don't care if she knows somebody at CNN. They have to. And I talked about this on a hangout recently. That is, you got to go through producers. There are so many layers of producers before you can actually air something. It's not like a news. There are no journalists anymore. A journalist can't just run on air, and he can't run a story on the paper. Now, he may be able to write a blog about it, but the internet is monitored fairly tightly to where they're not going to let something like that out. So no, you're not going to tell, even if you knew. In fact, I'll put it back on you. Let's say you, Sarah, you knew that the earth was flat. You had absolute proof. You knew somebody that worked for one of the major aerospace industries and knew it was flat, and you wanted to get it out. Think about this really carefully. In fact, maybe I'll use this in future arguments. Who are you going to go to let this thing out? Seriously, who are you going to call? Think about it. Anyway, moving on. This one's called Hello from Flat Earth. Hello. Hey guys, I learned of your podcast from Mark Sargent. Who are you writing this to? It was sent to multiple people. I don't know who the others were though. I learned of your podcast from Mark Sargent's YouTube channel and decided to visit your website, which was listed there. I would like to share a couple quotes with you and hope you take them in deep consideration. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle said that. Condemnation before investigation is the highest form of ignorance. That's from Albert Einstein. Please meditate on these quotes and investigate why so many people of all... He sent this to... I see what happened here. He sent this to Ruined Hero podcast when I did the Ruined Hero podcast. Yeah. Please meditate on these quotes and investigate why so many people from all walks of life and every level of education are becoming convinced the world in which we were presented as children is false. If you are able, put aside what you think you know about Earth and simply entertain the thought without accepting it. Kind regards, William. Yeah, again, if I do an interview and you want a point, you want to voice something to that podcast, feel free. By all means. You don't necessarily even have to copy me on it, but that's awesome. This one's called Cookies. Mark, serious question here. Did you make the clues videos just to get people to send you cookies? No, as a matter of fact, I didn't even ask for, I asked for cookies in like one video, and I don't think it was the clues. It was at the end of one of the Strange Worlds, I think. I can't remember now which one it was. It was one of my early Strange World videos where I just, because I'm never going to ask for money. If you guys want to send money, that's perfectly fine, which is why now in my description of every email is an address you can send stuff to. You can send anything you want to that address, and it'll find me. It goes to my family up in Washington State. And no, I mean, cookies would just seem kind of something cute, because I do like cookies, but I like all sorts of food, and cookies seem like something you could buy production models of cookies, and because no one's going to send me like a pizza. I love pizza or burgers. You're not going to send me any of that stuff. So, but no, I didn't do it just to get the cookies. Seriously. Been doing this now for 2 years. This one's called Waterboys asked if the earth is flat. His response is, Mama says the earth is flat and NASA is the devil. It's good. You gotta watch The Water Boy with Adam Sandler, but if you watched it, I'm sure you would have thought that was funny. That was from John. Thanks, John. It's awesome. Oh, we got time for a few more. This one's called Stop It Never. Mark, I never thought I'd believe something like this, and I am believing a lot of things I never thought I'd believe. It's a great sentence. The further I get into the Hidden God Flat Earth video, the more I am finding myself, the self I imagined when I was a child. This is sufficiently weird and excitingly scary. Please stop never. That's from Pi. Cool. That's also a great t-shirt. Please stop never. Please stop period never. Or please stop comma never. This one's called Great Earth Puzzle. Hi Mark, I have taken the liberty of sending you a copy of my 7th and last book, Great Earth Puzzle. And it's sitting right down at the floor right now. Wherein I support the flat Earth scenario and seek to expose the gravity and Antarctica hoaxes. I also go into the Project Bluebeam potential scam and why ancient aliens and the like are so heavily promoting aliens as real, like a fake landing to secure one world government, and I give a bit more to contemplate. Just thought you might find it interesting. It is beginning to sell, and the goal is to get people thinking about who we are and where we are. The book should get there next week, maybe Friday or Saturday. Thanks for the good work you are doing, and I appreciate the help you provided back last year when I was generating Chapter 11, which I also sent you. The Great Earth Puzzle goes beyond the first book and explores the reasons for saying Earth is a globe circling the sun. Chapters 3 and 10 are the keys, plus the epilogue. Keep up the good work. Cheers, Jay. So yeah, if you type in online, The Great Earth Puzzle, you'll probably find a book, and it's pretty thick. But I do read into it from time to time when I'm not watching videos. This one's called Flat Earth Ugh. Mark, my husband, an electrical engineer and computer electrical patent attorney, oh God, informed me tonight he cannot be married to me anymore because I'm an idiot who doesn't believe the earth is round. Oh well, what's a flat earth girl to do? I'll be fine. Hashtag truth matters, Dana. Yeah, don't ruin your relationships. Although, to be true, I'm never probably going to date a non-flat earther, because it's too big a concept to have a difference on. Time for what, 2 or 3 more. Hi, Mark Sargent. Oh, wait, what's this called? It's called Hi from Austria. Pictures included. Hi, Mark. Please excuse my English. It's my 3rd language. This ought to go well. I'm Patrick, and I became a flat earther since early 2017. First, I thought, like you, I'd debunk it in a minute. Long story short, I was hooked hour after hour into your videos. I was convinced the Earth can't be a ball. A few weeks ago, I told my parents about the clues. My mother later watched your videos, and now she is critical about NASA and the ball, but my father went almost berserk. He is a technical manager of the Technical University in Vienna. After I debunked many of his ball proofs, he said, "Stop this BS conspiracy. There are no flat earth proofs, and I should show him pictures that prove it, and he only accept the pictures only if I shot it, if I took them." So I looked up into my old vacation pictures, and I found very interesting ones. It was late 2014 in Mallorca, Spain, and I took a few pictures of the ocean, and as you see, straight horizon lines, and the best shot in one picture, you see on the left side a sun hotspot. As I've shown it to my father, he silenced for a few minutes and said it makes no difference if the Earth is flat or not. I think I cracked his view of NASA and the ball Earth. You can use all the pictures for the slideshow if you want. Best regards, and thank you for your work. Keep it going, Patrick. And I should probably look at his pictures real fast. And of course, I click on them and they're loading and they're taking their sweet time. And yeah, they're high res. Yeah, flat horizon pictures from the beach in Spain. Yeah, they're cool. I like them. I don't know if they're slideshow worthy, but I like them. Thank you for sending them. This one's called Huge Fan Bro. I don't nearly get enough bro emails. Well, this could be the last one. We'll see. Hey Mark, I'm Arthur from Rhode Island. Absolutely loving all that you have done, do, and continue to do. I've been completely obsessed for almost a month now. My life has been looking up so carefree, I can literally feel the consciousness come into focus, as if my head was dizzy from a spinning merry-go-round the society had me spinning in. You know that feeling, only that residual nauseous feeling still pertained when realizing how sick to my stomach NASA made me? Yeah, anyway, it started with Under the Dome, and I got my girlfriend the next day on board. It's been a wild ride, day in and day out, and the new vids and experiments are just stacking in against those NASA bozos. The Muppets did a better job going to space than them. They get about the same type of insight and reaction to the whole concept. Well, I'd love to hear back, bro. I play guitar and sing, that's a shocker, and sing some decent original stuff. Lately, it's been influenced entirely around Flat Earth. Go figure. Well, keep the hard facts coming. It's coming at them so fast, the spin they're really going to start feeling is their big dumb pear heads. Your friend Arthur. Flat Earth, level mind, open-hearted journey for the daring searcher's soul. Stay flat. You know what? I couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, stay flat.